if we all adhered to that structure. Because maybe God's not about. Think about how the world would be different. There'd be no unwanted pregnancy outside of marriage. There'd be no sexual abuse. There'd be no child sexual abuse. There'd be no pornography destroying the hearts of men and ripping apart marriages and damaging families. There'd be no abortion. Would the world be worse off without all that stuff? There'd be no sex trade industry damaging millions and millions of women and teenagers around the world? Or maybe God says, I've got a better way for y'all to live. See, the lie is that God's ways are restrictive. The truth is, and I'm going to blog these this week. Our staff came up with just dozens and dozens and hundreds of lies versus truth. Now, go to my blog this week. I will blog them for you. Here's the truth. Here's the lie. God's ways are too restrictive. The truth is God's ways are best. God's restrictions are always for my good. God's restrictions always have two reasons, protection and provision. He wants to protect me from harm and provide for me His best. Resisting or rebelling against God's ways brings conflict and heartache. That's the truth. If we get those down, we extinguish the voice of lie and we listen to God's voice of truth, we get His best. Here's a lie. I'm not worth anything. Remember I talked about this one last week. A lot of people have a tape playing in their head that says they're not worth anything because of something someone told you when you were a kid, something you've experienced, something a spouse told you, you're not worth anything. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Here's God's truth. My value is not determined by what others think of me or what I think of myself. My value is determined by how God views me. Here's how God views me, the truth. To God, my soul is worth more than the price of the whole world. It was worth the life of His Son, Jesus. If I am a child of God, I am God's cherished possession and treasure. Here's a lie. I can sin and get away with it, right? That's what I all think. I'll get away with it. Here's the truth. The choices I make today will have consequences. I will reap what I sow. Sin's pleasure only lasts